He said, if you're gonna sit there and what the fuck did he say? He said it in Arabic. He's like, if you're gonna stop at every dog that barks, you're gonna have a long day. So I made a promise that I was not going to overreact to every single person that says something in the chats, and I was going to stick to focusing on the positive comments. I hope you guys are proud of me. That's called growth. Okay, that's called personal growth. All right, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, I don't know if we're on here yet. It kind of seems like we're on, but not really. Okay, we're on. Welcome everyone to the second installment of the free NAS100 webinars. Last week, we talked a little bit about how NASDAQ moves. I gave you guys an overview of the historical context of what led to today's price action. How did we get to now? And I think that going through that historical context of how 2008 shaped the financial markets, specifically the tech sector, and how the Federal Reserve's actions have been impacting the NAS 100. And so some key takeaways, in case you were not here last week, is that NASDAQ primarily moves based on the top 5 or 6 technology sector names. That includes Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Google, or Google's 2 names on the stock market. And then you can include Tesla and Netflix and some of these other smaller companies. So we talked a little bit about how Federal Reserve policy, whether they're printing or whether they're taking money out of the economy, how that impacts sentiment in the markets. We talked about how the geopolitical conflicts may affect market conditions. And I gave you guys an introduction on how market sessions work as it relates to NAS 100. Today, I'm going to touch on so I really can't even go into too much detail about this. So I'm going to go briefly into session times and how that affects volume. And then I want to leave the rest of this thing open for Q&A. We have a bunch of folks here that were on the original NAS 100 bootcamp. And so if you guys were on that NAS 100, the first one, please let me know in the chats if you guys were on that first NAS 100 class. If you are, I'm going to bring you on the Zoom and then maybe ask a few questions if you guys are open to it. Because I do not want to promote anything. I want you guys to hear it from the people that took the class. But I genuinely want everyone to understand that the trading success that you're looking for is on the other side of a few good decisions. The reason that most of us, like when I was in that losing phase, we all have similar things that have been holding us back. And it's not what you think. It's not the strategy. It's not the new execution system. It's not the over leveraging. For some of you, it might be. But for the most part, number one, it's confidence and sticking to the same system. Number 2 is just clarity and really not understanding how this pair moves and setting these unrealistic expectations. And then third is just trying to figure things out ourselves when someone has already taken the losses and done the work, and we can leverage their experience. I want you all to leverage my experience. So if you stick around to the end of this, I have a promo code for you guys coming on to this specific webinar. I will show you an introduction on how NAS 100 moves, but I guarantee after I give you guys a little sample here, you're going to want to learn how to do this because it's so repeatable. It happens every day that you're going to be able to build a strategy off of this. All right. So it's my simple take. Let me know if you guys have any questions. John said the first one was fire. John, good to see you. Josh Ortega, what up, what up? Ron says you're on YouTube. Yeah, I am. Sean Jones talking mad shit said, don't forget to start the stream today. Buddy, why don't you mind your business, all right? I didn't forget nothing. That was one time, and it happened, and it ain't going to happen again. That's a complete lie. It'll probably happen again. Can we be honest with each other? If you guys are going to come onto my streams, I can almost guarantee that me forgetting to turn on the stream is probably going to happen again. But I can guarantee that shout out to my team. They keep me accountable. Bryce, Golly, T, Diverso, the whole team. Shout out to you guys. Okay. Max said, can I be in charge of the gulag? Max, get on YouTube. I'll make you a moderator right now. Mr. Hoddle said, good morning, everyone. Mr. Hoddle, great to see you on the call. Josh Luna is back in action. We have my dream team is on. Yes, we got Romy on. We got Max on. We got Josh. My day one, Karan. Again, guys, don't ask him about my high school days. Those days don't exist. Yeah, we're pretty good to go. Juan Rodriguez said, I never attended a Chart Addicts bootcamp, but I got on the live Sunday. Juan, welcome. If you've never attended a bootcamp, this is basically the structure is 3 different days. So day 1 is going to be focused on fundamentals of how NAS 100 actually moves. What are the top 10 stock names in the NAS 100 index? What is the difference between a market cap weighted index and a stock price weighted index? And then we're going to talk, day 2 is about technical analysis. my execution strategy step by step. And then number 3 is mindset and risk strategies. Okay, so things that you can expect on day 1 is what NAS100 is, why it exists, how we can make money, how it moves, when it moves, how to trade it, how to build a risk management system, how to build a complete trading plan, understanding the model, which is something that I've discovered as the business model of the markets. How do markets systematically take money from retail? They have a business plan. They have a business model that they constantly run. And as long as you can understand what phase of the model you're in, you can take advantage and make money. It's that simple. We have market dynamics, cycles, and trends, because if you don't understand that part, you're going to get screwed. I go through my exact system, using fundamental analysis to understand the sentiment, looking at the directional bias, using technical analysis to find the trend and the exact entries, and then using my day trading strategy, the model, to be able to trade inside of these higher time frame zones. I have my 10 rules that I've developed over years and years of trading NAS. These have kept me out of trouble, and these took me 3 to 8 months to learn each one. I would make a mistake trying to trade too early in the session, get burned, get burned, get burned. Eventually, I'm like, wait, what if I waited 30 minutes after the session? Oh, okay. And I've developed these 10 commandments basically for how to trade NAS100 that will yield you the success that you're looking for. So this is just day 1, and this is some of the stuff that you can expect, as well as the exact strategy that I use that I'll be showing you today in action, how it works. So of course, if you have any questions, please make sure to put them in the chats. Otherwise, I believe it's a wasted opportunity. And of course, if you guys stick around to the very end, I'm going to have a custom promo code for you for showing up to this webinar to get 50% off your seat to this masterclass. Is it 50%? God, why is the team not... I will change it to whatever the percentage is. Let's call it 30%, because I think that's what we did for NFP. And I think we'll do NAS100 30. No, that's too messy. NAS 30. NAS 30 is going to be the promo code. It's not active just yet, but we'll make the team make it active. Max, if you're in the YouTube, I'll make you in charge of the gulags. We got the Flip King on the stream. Flip King, I appreciate you hopping on. If you guys have not seen his vlogs from the previous FX Summit, some of my favorite content on there, keeps it real, really shows you from start to finish his experience at the FX Summit. So if you're looking for a realistic sort of play-by-play of how that conference went, I highly recommend checking out the Flip Kings channel. Very big fan of those videos, bro. I assume we can use this with US 30 as well. Right, you are bullish 356. Matthew said, this is my first. Matthew, welcome to the streams. When's the next one? Scheduling purpose, I can't make the current one. I believe the next one is December 5th. So it's going to be in about 40 days or 35 days. So while everybody's making money for the next 30 days using these strategies, I do not want anyone getting left behind. So it wasn't supposed to be 50%? No. I think 50% was last week, but the seats are already filled up. We're basically already at capacity. This is just, I always want to reward people for putting in the sacrifice and the time. If you're showing up on a Saturday at noon, when you could be hungover, when you could be at brunch, when you could be watching some bullshit, whatever it is, and you're on here, I want to give some kind of something back. But also, it hurts my soul whenever I do a discount or something, because it's like, bro, this strategy fucking works, and you will see it right now. Trust me. Like, yeah, this is my baby. And so it's already tough as it is. 30% is more than generous. Sunday, you definitely understand the skill very well. Totally game changer. Roy is a NAS100 beast, learning from the best. Jonathan Rodriguez, I appreciate you. Okay, opinion on ICT. Well, this is not ICT stream. Oh, I see. I took advantage of that code. I'm grateful. Juan, good for you. You jumped on the opportunity and took advantage. Now let's go through a little bit of a background on who I am. My name is Roy Dunya. I was originally a humble finance student from Richmond, Virginia. I originally immigrated to the United States when I was 8 years old, did not speak English. I picked up the language over the 2 subsequent years. After I moved here by 10 years old, I was already reading at the appropriate age level and everything else. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I knew I was going to follow either government or finance. Luckily, I went to go work for Congress for a few years. I was inside of the congressional halls writing legislation. I was a legislative assistant for several elected officials. Then I realized that I don't want to make 40 grand a year. I definitely don't want to live in DC, and I definitely don't want to work for the people that occupied those halls. So I started to shift my focus to being in accounting and finance. Accounting killed my soul. Did not want to do accounting, so I ended up choosing finance. My first job out of college was, and keep in mind, I started to day trade while I was in college, blowing money, skipping classes, all the nine. I went through every mistake that everybody could imagine, plus more. The reason that I always talk with so much conviction is I've been in your shoes. I understand the frustration. And the way that I design every webinar and every course is to try to save you the time that I wish someone had saved me. Because it's not just about time, right? Okay, let's say you do have another 6 months or 12 months to just throw out the window, which we don't. But let's just say that you do. It's the mental headache and all the bad habits and the psychological damage that you do not finding success early. This is what kills most traders, and it almost killed me as a trader. So I was losing for many years, and I left college without a real plan for the future. I ended up working for Merrill Lynch, which is a wealth management firm that's an arm of Bank of America. Now, the reason that they're separate, we're not going to go through all of it, but Dodd-Frank is a legislation that was signed that said commercial banks and investment banks have to be separate. And so you see JP Morgan versus Chase. Chase is their commercial banking arm. JP Morgan is their investment and wealth management arm. They have to be separate. So now you have BlackRock and Blackstone. They're separate because one of them is a wealth management house, the other one is an investment firm. So Bank of America is the largest commercial bank in America. They have the most amount of commercial bank accounts open. And I was working for Merrill Lynch, which was their subsidiary arm for wealth management. I got a chance to see how wealthy people invest. I got a chance to invest on behalf of my clients. I got a chance to study and recommend investment opportunities to all of my clients. And that was my day-to-day job in managing millions of dollars of family wealth that we had to protect for the rest of their life and arguably the rest of my life if I wanted to keep my job. So I'll do SEC, I'll do broker check. So I held 3 different licenses. Well, I held 5 or 6 different licenses, but 3 that are relevant to the stock market specifically. I'm going to search up my name here on the SEC's website or FINRA's website. You guys can see my CRD number. Here's the 3 examinations that are the 3 licenses that I held. The first one is the Securities Industry Essentials. This is kind of like a planning certificate. I'm allowed to recommend financial life paths for people. I'm allowed to hear people's financial goals and just give them a financial planning guide. The Series 7 allowed me to be a general securities representative, which means I can now make recommendations and specific securities recommendations to my clients. Buy this stock, buy this bond, this will be good for you. When you give someone financial advice and you do not hold a series license, it's illegal. Very, very illegal. And you're not supposed to be operating as a licensed financial professional if you don't have these licenses. And then I had the Series 66, which is the uniform combined state law, which basically made me a broker dealer. So you guys hear about brokers all the time, regulated versus unregulated. I'm the only person in the Forex space that actually held a Series 66 broker dealer license. I was an investment advisor and I was a broker dealer, meaning I could give you advice about what to buy, and then I can take your money I would not take your money. You could leave your money with me as a representative, and I could execute trades on the open market on your behalf. So let me sum this up. I studied stock markets, I studied bond markets, and I was able to make recommendations to my clients based on what they should buy in order to meet their financial goals. Aside from that, I was actually allowed to legally trade on their behalf and execute orders in the open market, in these stock exchanges, and over the counter to be able to meet their financial objectives. Safe to say I know a thing or two about how stock markets work, and safe to say I know a thing or two about how investors and institutional investors look at financial markets. Put a 1 in the chat if you're still with me or if you're asleep. Are you guys awake? These are very important because there's a lot of people that talk about investments or that invest on other people's behalf, and they're not really understanding of the risk that comes with managing outside capital or making a recommendation. Said been putting in that work. 804 RVA. AJ Tolentino. Yeah, I went to VCU, baby. I was on the corner, bro. I was on Main Street. I lived on Canal. I lived off First and Canal for a few years. And then I went around. I lived right in front of Monroe Park at Monroe Park Towers for a year. And then I ended up living at 1111 Grove. Shit was that was the time of my life out there. Okay. Looks like everybody's still here. Awesome stuff. So those are a bit of my credentials. Again, Just because I worked there doesn't mean that I was good at my job. I was just good at my job, right? So that should give you guys a quick backstory. Now, how I got trading NAS100. I'll actually show you the backstory to this as well, which is I started trading Forex. At Chart Addicts, we developed this textbook. Now, this textbook is an all-encompassing guide about how markets work. My business partner and I, Omer, we ended up creating this years ago, and every single thing in this textbook is still valid today. We figured out what the truth of the markets was, and I'll show you guys this in just a second. Let me get to the mastery course itself. It's not a course; it's really just a textbook. So we ended up writing our first ever textbook. This was in 2019. I was trying to get this published, but essentially we couldn't get it published because of some licensing errors. And so it never ended up getting fully published. But it went through everything about what Forex is, what a pip was, candlestick trading, fees, trading styles, Forex sessions. And the second one was how to do top-down analysis, finding key levels, candlestick reversal patterns, how to identify impulses and retracements. And we really dialed in our understanding of how markets move. This is where it all started, is a very in-depth textbook, 3 different sections where we not only went through technicals, but went through fundamentals as well, went through mindset, went through the psychology, and then went through how to develop a trading system. Things like confidence versus euphoria, because you need confidence, but euphoria will kill you, right? Understanding the difference, trading in a prime state versus trading kind of half-ass and being lazy with it. Professional longevity, how to stay in the game longer, like loving the process, confidence, loving failures, planning their trades, executing plans without errors, right? Setting goals, market makers, whatever. We developed a very strict understanding, not of a strategy, but of an underlying framework to understand how markets really move. That's what I try to do in these boot camps. And the reason I showed you that step by step is how did I get to my understanding now? It's not just, hey, I found this like step-by-step system, multiple confluence, this shark fin or something that's very specific that everybody else can recreate. I discovered how markets move. And today I'm going to share that with you. If you guys are interested in knowing how markets move, put a 1 in the chat and let's go get this started. I'm going to show you guys how markets move from start to finish. This will be a general overview because obviously we have the NAS100 bootcamp starting tomorrow. We'll go into a lot of this stuff in real depth. But just for the sake of today's meeting, if you're interested in knowing how markets really move, put a 1 in the chat and let's go ahead and get the show on the road. If you find any value in this stream, please leave a like. If you're watching this on YouTube, it takes 2 seconds for you, but it means the world to me. You guys like that one? I know you guys like that one. You guys got to give me a like for that one. That was smooth. That was smooth. Come on now. That was off the top. I did not have that one written down, people. All right. And of course, stick around so you guys can get access to that custom promo code to get your seat for the Mastering NAS100 Bootcamp starting tomorrow. Okay, let's talk about how markets move. Seems like you all are excited. Let's get this show on the road. I'm going to turn off my camera here for just a sec. Not even just a sec, for as long as I'm doing this. Just for distraction's sake. Keep this off to the side. Okay, boom. So I see people explain this concept in a million different ways. And whenever I go through a trading course, because of course I go and check out other people's content and I try to figure out, is there more that I can learn here? The first thing I always realize is this misunderstanding of what technical analysis is for. Now, I'm going to give everyone 30 seconds to go get something to take notes with. A lot of you are not taking notes, and it's going to be a massive waste of your time here because you're not going to remember this stuff off the top of your head. Do me and do yourself a favor. Go get something to write down with because this will be massively beneficial. Okay, looks like we got some folks ready. So the purpose of technical analysis is to first figure out the direction of the market. If you don't know which way the market's going, you don't know if you're buying, selling, or holding. And so while everybody's always first looking for fair value gaps and they're looking for trends and they're looking for liquidity zones, they're doing goddamn everything but finding the direction. So the first step to all technical analysis is the direction. Let's call it trend. So once you start with that exercise, you'll realize there's only two modes of operation for the markets. The markets are either trending, in which case they're bullish or bearish, or the markets are consolidating. Now, what I've realized is on the higher time frames, just basically on all time frames, the markets consolidate about 70% of the time. And then they will trend about 30% of the time, which means that the default for the markets is consolidation. So a lot of people are taught to stay away from the consolidation ranges. They're telling them that it's not worth trading, to wait for a breakout. But for me, I realized that if the markets are consolidating the majority of the time, you need a system to take advantage and make money. Okay, fair enough. So here's the rule set, because it gets even easier than that. If the market is trending bullish, I'm going to put BULL right here. If the market is trending bullish, your job is to buy at support. If the market is trending bearish, your job is to sell at resistance. Okay? So for a trend trader or a momentum trader, someone who's trading along with the momentum of the trend, what is the most important thing for you to do? But once you find out the direction, what is the most important thing for you to do to make money? Help me out here, folks. The journey to a brighter tomorrow. Optimism Oasis. I like that. What? Optimism Oasis. Oh, that's your whole name. Optimism Oasis, Journey to a Brighter Tomorrow. That's a long ass YouTube name, my friend. Juan says, be patient. No. One of the CA members, please put me out of my misery. In a trending market, if buyers are looking to buy at support and sellers are looking to sell at resistance, what would be the number one job for a trend trader? What's the number one focus? What's the number one thing we're looking for? Mark up a setup and wait for it to come to you. Juan Rodriguez, yes, for sure. Kenton Brown says market structure, 100%. Let's get a little bit more accurate. Wait for a pullback. You guys are all correct, but let's put it into a full system here. Buy at a premium or discount. Cliffco, you've been here before. Cliffco, I got a tear going down the side of my eye. I love to see that. Identify a range. Yes, but somebody, come on. You know, to be completely honest, Juan was the closest, so I'm just going to give it to Juan Rodriguez. It's mark up a setup and then wait for it to come to you, but I'll also combine it with Kenton's answer of market structure. Mark up the market structure and wait for the price to come to you. So I'm about to blow your mind, okay? The way that I make decisions and the way that I feel like all professional traders make decisions is in the form of a decision tree. So you have a trade, okay? Is the market bullish or bearish? This is my decision tree. This is bull and this is bear. If it's bullish, the question is it at support? So I'll say, is it at support? Because if it's bullish, we want to buy at support. If the answer is yes, look for buys. If the answer is no, don't look for buys. Do you guys see how this works? The market's bearish. We want to sell it at resistance. Is the market at resistance? If yes, look for a reversal pattern and take the trade. If the answer is no, wait for price to get to a resistance zone. Is this making sense to everybody? Because I know that this seems very simple to some of the more advanced traders, but mastering the basics is how you make money. Everyone wants to find every fair value gap and all this shit, but you're just trading against the market every fucking day. And you're like, but dude, I found the fair value gap and I took it at the fib. Why didn't I make money? The reality is the very foundational basis of all technical analysis is first figuring out the direction, and then ideally the trend is your friend. Okay? So with that being said, your job as a trader, as a momentum trader, is to find support resistance zones and then to be able to have the patience to wait for price to get there. Now in a consolidation range, your job is to identify the support and resistance. Your job is to identify any zones outside of that, which will be your buy zone, your discount, or your sell zone, your premium. And your job is to identify the reversal patterns necessary to take a trade inside of a range. Everyone thinks my job in a range is to buy the bottom, sell the top, buy the bottom, sell the top. But it's a bit more than that. You'll have a few clean touches, but if you don't understand how to read the fake outs, you'll be stuck selling a breakout right here, because this is what everybody learns on baby pips, while people like myself are buying it back to the top of the range. So in a consolidating market, your job becomes identifying these reversal patterns, identifying these liquidity grab, like the specifics of what a liquidity grab looks like, so that you can actually trade supply and demand. How many of you have learned a supply and demand strategy, tried to sell high and buy low, and just kept getting crushed, where the market will hit your stop loss and then move? Probably everybody at some point. All right. Are we still good? Is everybody still with me? Drop a like if you guys are finding this valuable on YouTube. Just drop a quick like if you hit an aha moment. All right, so we're cool in these two modes. Let me show you how this looks in the market. Well, actually, I'll go through one more thing. When you're developing a strategy, the system that I teach, my step-by-step system, and really how I look at this technical analysis, a lot of people are cheating themselves by not having a clear system that's outlined by a step-by-step criteria. Okay, a lot of people will see a bullish trend, it'll hit support, and with no other criteria, they're entering buys. And then it'll just keep smashing through. And they're like, oh, but I thought it hit the support zone and it did everything. And why didn't it go in my way? When you have a real system, a real trading system, you guys can write this down. When people say, oh, I'm looking for a strategy, what they're really saying is they're looking for a positive expectancy system. And all this means, this is a fancy way of saying this is a trading system that when you do this one action, you can expect this positive result most times. So if you touch your hand on a stove, there's a positive expectancy that you're going to burn yourself. And so if your goal is to burn yourself, putting your hand on the stove is a positive expectancy system. You know that 10 times out of 10, when you put your hand on the stove, you're going to burn yourself. In trading, a positive expectancy system is, let's say, a breakout. And you realize that whenever the market breaks outside of a range, everybody is selling. But if you buy it, you're going to be right 7 out of 10 times. You don't know which 7 out of 10. If you took 10 trades, you don't know which one is going to pop up and which one will continue down. But you know that if you continue to buy at the bottom of a range and sell at the top of a range, you have a positive expectancy system that's 70% profitable. So the first step to being a successful trader is to find a positive expectancy system. Find something called an edge. An edge is something that gives you a better than luck chance at being successful. When you flip a coin, if you don't have a specific strategy of like flipping the coin so it lands on a certain way and you're just relying on luck, then you're going to have a 50-50 chance. You don't really have an edge. Now, if somebody lets you use your own coin for this coin flipping contest and you get to bring your own coin, and so you bring one that's heavier on the face side than it is on the tail side, you now have a positive expectancy system because you know that when you flip it 100 times, you're going to land on heads 70 times out of 100. The positive expectancy system doesn't just work sometimes, it's supposed to work most of the time. You guys got me? So part of a positive expectancy system is most of you have learned thousands of concepts in trading. Your job is to take 4 or 5 of those that make the most sense to you and to develop a strategy that has a positive expectancy. The system that I teach is based off of market sessions, meaning that there are sessions that happen before New York. This is going to be London, Tokyo, Frankfurt, and Australian session. And then there's going to be the market open of New York. And then there's going to be the New York session move. And I'm able to identify the different phases of these sessions, identify where I'm at in these phases, and then to look for the trend of the day. That is my positive expectancy system. So when you only have 2 confirmations, you're not getting a high probability expectation. When you start to layer more and more confirmations, now you're starting to get to a system that's very quality. You're only going to be selectively looking for the highest quality trades. So how does that look? The market breaks up and comes back for a retracement 50%. And so the average trader that just sees the direction is bullish, the market's at 50%, they're going to take the trade. 2 confirmations. Let's say that trade, the chances of it playing out are about 70%, which is pretty good. If you just took a trade randomly anywhere, buy or sell, you got about a 50-50 chance of it going up or down. You waited for the pullback at least. You're trading in the direction of the trend. That's going to give you the best chance possible to make money. Now, let's say that you layered in a third confirmation, which is you're looking for a reversal pattern. For me, I love the inverted head and shoulders, as I've shown in the mastery course here. Oh, give me 1 second. Candlestick reversal patterns. These are my favorite candlestick reversal patterns. We got double tops. We got the sort of like dislocated double tops. We have the double bottoms, dislocated double bottoms. We have head and shoulders and the inverted head and shoulders. My favorite reversal patterns. We'll talk about those in the boot camp. So let's say that you waited for a confirmation, reversal pattern. That would give your trade an even higher percentage. Let's call it 80% now, because you've already had all the different confirmations. Each confirmation tells a story about the markets. These aren't just rules of thumb that are true. When you look for a candlestick reversal pattern, what you're doing is you're looking for a story. Here's the story of this inverted or this kind of dislocated double top. The story would be, and actually, let's just use this example. Let's look at the inverted head and shoulders. The story is that buyers first respected that support level. And then sellers tried to continue to push the market down, but buyers ultimately won. And then we closed above the previous high, showing that buyers are still in control. This is not just, oh, inverted head and shoulders, let me buy it. No, there's a story and a context associated with what the market is doing based on these patterns. And so the inverted head and shoulders, the psychology of the inverse head and shoulders is that the market tries to respect a support level. The sellers attempt to push the market down, but they don't have enough volume. Buying volume steps in and takes control. And then you ultimately have buyers holding that zone again, showing that sellers can't break. Buyers are now in full control. I now feel comfortable taking that trade to the upside. So now we have those different confirmations. And then let's imagine right here, we have an even better confirmation, which is we're at the low, we're at market structure. We're at the low of the day. So we have like this consolidation range here. This is the low of the consolidation range. We had this whipsaw and whatnot, and then the market came all the way back to retest the lows. So now we have market structure, we have direction, we have the pullback and support, and then we have the reversal pattern, inverted head and shoulders. That is a high probability trade. But most people, they'll take the first 2 confirmations, say, yeah, good enough, they're entering right here, right? They're getting out at the first sign of panic. They don't have a high selectivity system. All right. Are we still on the same page? Put a 1 in the chats if you guys are on the same page. I'm about to give you the promo code for today's session. I'm about to give you all the promo code for today's session. If you're still awake and you're still around, this is your lucky chance. You're about to get this promo code. And I'll let you guys vote, because some of you did get the 50% last week for showing up to that first webinar, and some of you did not. Should I do 30% or 50% off? I'll let you guys pick. It don't make a difference to me, except for this is my baby. And I don't really want to, but this is, I care more about rewarding people for doing the right thing on a Saturday than I do about, caring about my baby. Okay, looks like we got 1s in the chat flying. Let me know, should we do 50 or 30% off for this promo code? I'm going to do NAS webinar 30 or NAS webinar 50. Okay, Walter says 50. Juan says 50. Forex EA says 50. Bullish 356 says 50. Lemon says 30. Lemon, why are you saying 30? Did you already buy your ticket at 50? John says 75. John, come on, John. That's madness. Marcos says 50. Marcos, I'm gonna send you to the gulags. All right, stay out of this one. All right, you might, okay, you're about to fuck up everybody else's chance. Let's just sit this one out, my friend. My own dad says 30. My dad, yo, My dad knows the strategy is fire. He said 50 is too much. Lemon says 50 is too much. I don't even think there should be a discount. You're right, Lemon, but I want to reward people for taking time out of their day on a Saturday. You guys really could be drooling on yourself somewhere, which is probably what you were doing every Saturday before these streams. This is a giant thank you to everybody who's investing in themselves. We'll do 30. We'll do 30. We'll do 30. We'll do 30. 30. We'll do 30. We're going to do NAS webinar 30. Can you briefly go over what the workshop entails? Yes, Reese. The workshop is a 3-day program designed to teach you everything you need to know to trade NAS100 starting immediately. This is a system that I've built for years through trial and error. The first day is based a lot on fundamentals and how to read it, but also just kind of the basics of how NAS works. Basically what we're talking about now, but in a lot more detail. Day 2 is my technical strategy, as well as just how to look at the technical analysis as a whole. And then day 3 is going to be the mindset, as well as the risk strategies that I use to make money on NASDAQ. So whether I'm right or wrong about the direction, I can still make money. Okay, so then we go through everything, as well as my 10 rules for how to trade NAS that you can immediately start implementing into your trading. And you can also apply this to any instrument you're trading, like having a plan, or otherwise you're gambling, sticking to one model, one session, and one entry so that you can master the psychology of the traders you're trading against, only trading high volume sessions, the technical strategy being useless without risk management. And then we expand on each one of these topics in detail so that you have context and understand why they're part of the rule set. So NAS webinar 30, and the link for the registration is actually going to be in the comment section if you guys want. No discount, LOL. I just paid full price. Invest in yourself. All right. We'll trade Drip for showing up here. Reach out to us. We'll see what we can do. I might give you another free seat if you have a friend. I paid both boot camps full price. Well, Walter, that's why you're going to be a killer. I'm telling you guys, the information in this boot camp is absolutely jaw-dropping, because how many of you have taken a course or a class and the information, you weren't able to use it right away? I'm going to show you guys this information I just showed you in a very, very simple light. I'm going to show you this in real time. So let's talk about the difference between a trending market and a consolidating market. And I'll do this on the 1 hour to kind of show what we got here. So first, I'll show you the big picture, where I want you guys to understand the difference between when markets are picking up gas. This is what I call a consolidation or an accumulation, is when the market is picking up gas before it finally makes its move. So whenever I find the market making multiple rejections at a specific zone, at least 3, I start to find ranges where there's a low and a high. As the market is dropping, most retail traders are looking to sell. They just want to keep selling into the trend. Myself personally, I'm looking to buy low and sell high. So what I want to show you is just very briefly how my strategy looks in real time if I was to trade this thing. So this is what we would consider a discount, or this is what institutional traders would consider a discount or a cheap price. And this is what institutional traders would consider an expensive price. Why? Because whenever the market gets here, it sells off. Whenever the market gets here, it sells off. The market gets here, it sells off. Whenever the market gets down here, it buys up. Down here, it buys up. Down here, it buys up. So again, the story of the market is that buyers are attracted to this zone and sellers are attracted to this zone. So I'm going to ask you guys a question based on what I just said. If this is zone A and this is zone B, if I'm looking to sell this thing, where are institutional traders looking to sell? Zone A or zone B? Reese said, are there any live classes after the boot camp? Walter says yes. Guys, we have a few folks in here that already took the boot camps. They'll be able to answer all of your questions if you have them. Walter, I appreciate you stepping up, brother. If you could answer their questions, that would be highly appreciated. And then Jay, yo, Ali, my boy. I saw you yesterday on a call. We had our one-on-one call together to kind of review what happened at the boot camp and to really be able to touch base. And that was awesome. You can set up a check-in call with Roy. That was awesome, bro. You were asking all the right questions, really getting that detail. So if you and Walter And Josh, if you guys can answer any questions these folks have about the boot camps in the comment section, that'd be very appreciated. All right. Everyone says they're selling at zone A, selling at zone A, selling at zone A. Beautiful. Now, if we went to any other course, if we went to Baby Pips, for example, they would say that you're looking for a break outside, a retest, and then a short. This is the dumbest thing you could possibly do. 70% of the time, the market will shoot back inside the range. So immediately, you can tell that my trading strategy is the exact opposite of what everyone is learning about how markets work. So if I want to buy low and sell high, whatever, okay? So I'll play this thing out. Price makes it to the top of the range. Beautiful. Now that we're at the top of the range, this is where I could be looking for a potential sell position. And again, I'm not being very accurate here just because I'm trying my best to illustrate the concept behind this strategy rather than trying to be perfect here. Okay, we have discount and we have premium. I'm going to give a free seat to somebody here. Listen up. We're going to do a free giveaway as long as you answer a question. That would be awesome. My sister wants to learn. I'll just put her in a free seat. Okay, Trade Drip, reach out to me after this. But let me ask you as a question. We'll do, this is a zone, we'll just call this zone D, just to confuse everybody. And we'll call this zone F. I'm going to ask 4 questions, but I'm only going to give away 2 free seats. You guys ready? Which one of these zones, which letter is my support zone? Which letter is my support zone? And CA members, this applies to you if you don't already have your seat. Quran, no! Quran, no! We have support, we have discount, we have resistance, and we have premium. Someone said zone D, zone H and J. Bro, you're all done. J Olivier is the only one that got it right. What's wrong with you people? Everyone's saying F. All right. This is my discount. This is the absolute low. My support level, support is confirmed by multiple touches. You can't just have one touch and say, oh, that's support, like right here. This is like the absolute low or the minimum of the range. And this is the absolute high or the premium of the range. So we have our discount, and then we have support here because we already have that touch. Then we have resistance right here, and then we have support again. Where the most touches are is your support. So based on that logic, which one of these zones is my resistance? He says, y'all are dumb, not going to lie. Quality entertainment? That's not nice. That's fucked up. Apologize to the whole team. Apologize to the chats, or I'm going to kick you out. Quality entertainment. That was rude. Only I can be rude. I don't want to hear none of that JK shit, bro. A full apology. Say, I apologize, everybody. That was uncalled for. Max says, Gulag incoming. Max, I'm making you a moderator. Managing moderator. You are now moderator, Max. So everyone says zone A is the resistance. Beautiful. Love to see it. And thank you, Quality Entertainment, for stepping up, being a man, and accepting the responsibility for that. So here's why there's a distinction. Here's your support level. Most of the time when the market breaks under support, a lot of people start looking for sell positions. What I tell people is until we break the discount, this thing is still bullish. The support level is where your retests are most likely going to be, though. So if you're identifying your discount like, okay, well, if that's the low, then I'll just take trades here. The whole point is the market makes higher lows when it's about to move. It doesn't always make a double bottom. And so in this case, the market could come down here. We could be waiting for a buy entry at the discount, but more than likely, we're going to get a buy entry at support. That's why I'm selling at resistance, and my stop loss is above the premium. Okay, little side stuff. I know I'm giving away a little bit too much sauce here, but you guys get the drill. Okay. Market came up and hit our premium, and then it grabbed liquidity, meaning that all of these, all the stop losses that were set too tight above that range just got hit, and then the market makes its way back inside the range. I'm closing this thing. Yeah, this thing is most likely going to continue to form support here. Okay, so this is where I'm officially starting to notice that the market is forming support and we're just not able to break that zone. At this point, more than likely, we're going to start to push up. So what I would do in the live scenario is I would have put my stop loss and break even once the market had pushed down again, and I would have got my stop loss and break even hit. You have to identify not just the rejections at the upside, but also some of the price action patterns that are forming that may negate your trade. All right. We had all the touches at the premium, and then we had a retest at that resistance. So again, trading in the range has so many opportunities where if you're panicking when the market goes above your resistance, you don't really understand the strategy because all the best entries are at the premiums. If you don't understand how to look for the retracements and the retest back inside the range, you're going to miss great opportunities. Same with the long side. Now we're back at the support level. Let me see if I can delete those. Okay, move those out. So again, market comes down to support. That's the first entry. Then it comes all the way down to grab liquidity. But guess what? We still closed above the previous highs. So we're still creating a high or low scenario. And that means there's a good chance the market will push back inside the range. At this point, once the market breaks back inside the range, I'm waiting for one more retest and a continuation. Oh, never got the retest. I have a million lots. I have 30 million lots open. What is this? Okay, we have now hit the resistance of the range, close the trade and move my stops to break even, and do this all over again. It hit the support again, and then popped off all the way to the premium. So you could just take, how many trades could we have taken? We could have taken this short here. Could have taken this long here. I did take this long here. You guys understand how this works? So in a consolidating market, there are tons of opportunities. Here's the problems. This is where most people fuck up. And this is what I'm trying to teach in the course. All right. Most people will have an idea of the strategy. Once the market gets to support, it'll go into drawdown. At that point, once you're sitting there negative in drawdown, you start to panic. You close the trade. $500 loss is now sitting in your trade history. Oh no. And then the market pops off. Then what happens? People start to chase the market up here with buys. And then the market will come back for a pullback. All these people will close the trades. Not all, but most will close the trade in another negative just to have the market eventually push up. When you understand the reversal patterns, like I said at the beginning, when you understand how consolidations really work, you won't fall into the same traps. Here's the worst trap, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about consolidations, which is most of the time people are trading a box strategy. Okay, if you were an IML at some point, you learned this box strategy, which is, and everyone says the same thing, like, I'm just going to do this on the news. I'll put a sell stop and a buy stop, and whichever way it goes, I'm going to be rich. Here's what actually happened. Here's how the reality of how markets work. Market's going to fake this way. Everybody start entering shorts. Snap back up. Oh my God, we broke out. Everyone start entering longs. Snap back in. Just like we saw in the consolidation example I presented just 5 minutes ago. And so most traders lose because they're chasing. We win because we understand discounts, premiums, and the incentives that institutions are following. Ladies and gents, if you appreciated that masterclass in how markets work and a brief overview of my consolidation strategy, please make sure to drop a like on YouTube. And as a reminder to everybody that we're hosting a full 3-day NAS100 masterclass tomorrow. If you guys miss your chance tomorrow, we're not going to have another one until mid-December. In which case, yeah, it's going to be too late to use this strategy to buy gifts and to really make some money before the holiday season. You want to give yourself enough time to really let this thing work for you. You got 2 months until the holiday season, plenty of time for you to start using this strategy to make money. So If this is you, if you guys are interested in the step-by-step system, you can use promo code NAS webinar. We'll put it in the chats here. You can use promo code NAS webinar 30 for 30% off your seat. This is a custom. If you guys got on here and this is a Saturday, you guys really could be doing anything else. You guys could be at brunch. Some girl could have convinced you to be at brunch right now, but you're not. Congratulations. That is my thank you to all of you. And that's I would really hope to see every single person who made it to this stream on that NAS100 webinar, because I will be giving out the absolute secrets. I will be leaving nothing on the table. And everyone who showed up to the first NAS webinar can confirm that nothing will be left on the table here. All right. Great to see all of you. Now I'm just going to take some Q&As. And specifically, if you were on the previous bootcamp, if you have any questions about the strategy itself, let's show some folks the level of knowledge that we really have here, and I can answer some in-depth questions. Would it be recorded? Because I'll pay for it, but watch it after the event tomorrow. Yes, of course. If you guys buy a seat and you're unable to make it, you'll still have access to the full course, and you'll still have access to the recordings and the exams so you can get your certificate. Bro, I appreciate you for taking the time out of your day for this help. Of course, Paul Wall Street. Paul Wall Street. That's a good one. It's a little wordy, but we got there. It says daylight savings. Whoop, whoop. What's up with those 2 free spots you mentioned for the 4 questions? I'm 2 for 2 so far. Matt T. People were answering all type of dumb questions, man. I do owe one person a free seat because they paid full price, but they did answer the correct question. Let me give you guys another chance for a free seat here, based on what I said. Okay. Name 2 of my favorite reversal patterns for buying. Name 2 of my favorite reversal patterns for buying in a trending market. Damn, I feel like I owe you money from that sauce. Sean Jones. Oh, Sean Jones. Sean Holmes. Sean Combs. My boy is back in the house. Roy, I'm driving to the spelling errors dictation. Cliffco, please drive safe, brother. It ain't worth it. You can always watch this recording later. Let's get this stream to 100 likes. That should be easy. We got 120 people on here. Big up the man named Roy. Yes, sir. Let's get this stream to 100 likes. I love it. Steven says peace emojis. A hard question. Roy, you're the most trustworthy trader out here. I'm tired of all the drama and beef from the others. Abdon, I don't want to sit here and pretend to be the truthist or the most truthful or any of that shit. What you guys can expect from me, yes, obviously I tell the truth. You can tell because a lot of people are not going to like me. A lot of people do not like the way I speak. They don't like the honesty. They don't like the cursing. They don't like the just telling it how it is. One thing you guys will get from me is that complete truth. I really do not give a fuck about anything else except how I feel about myself. Lying does not make you feel good. I've made a bunch of mistakes in my life, people, and I promise you that I will own up to every single mistake I've ever made. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be the best or to be self-righteous. I make mistakes just like all of you, and I make bigger mistakes than all of you. But I own up to every single one, and I make all of them right. That's the only difference. Estes says double bottom and double tops, head and shoulders and inverted head and shoulders. Estes Trading, send us an email at info@chartaddictsfx.com. Free spot for you, done dilly. Always funded trading the MAS, but after I saw Creedy trades funded and still learning, it convinced me to do it. I'm always a student. Shout out to Creedy. Darren is an absolute monster, guys. He's $2 million funded trader. He's funded over $2 million with these prop firms, and he showed up to the boot camp last time. Me and him had conversations, and even he found it so valuable because no matter how good you are, there's always a way to optimize. And I'll show you a simple example. I use Fibonacci's as part of my strategy, and so do a lot of people. And people don't understand how valuable simple risk management strategies are. So some of the things I might have shown Darren, for example, is the difference between entering at the 61% fib versus, let's say, the 88% fib. And I'll just do a quick example here. And then 88 fib versus below it. If I'm taking a trade on average, it's going to be a little bit under 3-to-1. I'll do 3-to-1 just to make it easy for everybody. Okay, 3-to-1 risk and reward. So for every $1,000 I'm putting on the line, I'm looking to make $3,000. Now, A lot of people, what happens is when they take my boot camp, the price gets to the prime entry and then it starts to move because they're looking for a confirmation or a rejection. Once the market moves, if you wanted to wait for that rejection, what's the risk and reward now? It's about 1.5 to 1. Okay. You just went from making $3,000 per thousand risk to only making 1,500. Why does that matter? Imagine I go into a losing streak where I lose 3 trades in a row and I'm down $3,000. I now have to win 3 in a row without any mistakes, without any partial profits, holding the trade all the way through just to be at break even, just to get back into the profits. Now, if I'm doing a 3 to 1, I only need one good winner to get back in the game at any given time. You have 2 losers in a row, 3 losers in a row. Okay, the one winner you have is going to make it all back. That little difference could change somebody's life in here today. Just not hesitating on the entry. Now, imagine I'm scaling into my entries and I'm getting orders executed below the 88%. Now my risk and reward is almost 4 to 1 just by catching the wicks below the zone. And these are the simple strategies that I teach, not just the technical analysis, but how do you enter to get the most out of these trades, even when you're wrong. This is stuff that you can't find anywhere else. So looking forward to seeing all of you again. The promo code is NAS Webinar 30. You can get 30% off your seat for the NAS100 class tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there. Please make sure to bring notes, okay? And then if you guys do take the class, there's only one promise I need from you. Don't wait 2-3 weeks like some of these folks to take your final exam. I do not want to have to be going around chasing people. I don't want to have to be doing the reminders and doing all that bullshit. I want you guys to take the class, finish the final exam, get your certificate so I can do an interview with you so that you and I can go through real specific questions that you might have. Those one-on-one 15-minute check-ins, Jay Olivier, you might want to tell him, give him a 1 to 10. Me and you had our first one yesterday. What did you think? Was it worth that? Was it worth scheduling that 15-20-minute call and touching base? Or did you feel like it wasn't really that valuable? Is this course for beginners? Yes. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced trader, it's for both. The reason that people like Darren Creedy and like some of the other folks are able to find benefit in the course, but also complete beginners are able to pick it up and start using the strategy is because I'm not here to do some ICT shit where I'm overcomplicating the concepts. My job is to keep it as simple as humanly possible. When I told you guys there's only 2 ways markets move, they're either trending or they're consolidating. There is a lot of nuance that could go into that, and I really could complicate this shit and sell you guys 15 courses just on understanding the trend concept. When I really just sum up all of it and synthesize it down like the flour and get it to that base element, and I give it to you guys in the simplest way possible, that I feel like is what's going to help you be successful. Next week, you'll start looking at the entries different. The next trade you take, you'll be able to be more profitable. And that's what I'm looking for here. So whether you're a beginner or an advanced trader, this is perfect for traders of all skill levels, specifically designed to get you an understanding of this instrument, NAS100. And guys, funny stat, I was talking to Omar from Smart Funded Trader or Skilled Funded Traders. And he told me that the majority of the losses on their platform, the pair that people were losing the most money on was NAS100. People were making the most money on gold, and I think it was GU, and they were losing the most money on NAS100. That's unacceptable when there's someone like myself that actually has a strategy that's ready to use and ready to go. We should never be in a situation where the number one most traded pair for the losing traders was NAS100. How is that even possible? Actually, I know how it's possible. Some of you guys on the first NAS bootcamp, you guys understand the 3 phases. And so most traders, when they're trading on these prop firms, they're getting stuck trading in phase 1 and phase 2 every single time because they're rushing. They can't wait because they got to pass the challenge quick. And then the patient traders, we're really just waiting for the sweep of liquidity and then taking the market the direction of the day. It's that simple of a change. If you're going to keep guessing the buys and sells and the breakouts in phase 1, you're going to blow your funded account. If you're trying to chase the buys and chase the sells in phase 2, you're going to get destroyed. And then last but not least, if you're looking for phase 3, you got your chance to make money. Roy A1 since day 1. Yes, Vanessa, and I still got to take those ankles. So don't think you're safe just because we're all buddy and oh, Roy's out here. He's back. The energy is back. right? Oh, maybe Roy forgot that we were supposed to play a one-on-one basketball game. No, Vanessa, I remember. And I wake up sometimes 3 a.m. I gotta train because I know Vanessa's coming for my life. But it'll have to be here in Miami because I'm never stepping foot in that cesspool you people call a state, or you guys people call a city of Atlanta. I ain't never stepping back in Atlanta. People hate me out there. Apparently, I'm a misogynist. I can't do that, right? My reputation out there. All right, coolio. I took the quiz but never received a certificate. Jonathan, that is not humanly possible. If you actually took the quiz, you should have received your certificate. If you didn't, just log back in and it should be there. It should say download my certificate if you already finished it. Cliffco says, thanks, Roy. Love Roy. Thanks, Roy, for the session. Love you, bro. Love you too, man. I appreciate the love. Jay Olivier says, for sure, I had questions after taking my time and watching the recordings, and I drew up my own trading plan, and Roy answered everything and went over the plan and helped me fix it. And dude, your plan was rock solid. You had every step except for what? Exactly what I started today's stream with, right? What was the first thing I told you yesterday, bro? What was the number one thing that was missing? Will you have more webinars if we miss this one? The next one is going to be in mid-December, I believe. But that's when the markets really slow down, right before the holiday season. And then the whole first month of the year, markets are dead slow. So we probably won't do one in January either. We'll try to get everybody ready for the February one. He said the A is wild. What are you talking about? What the fuck is you talking about? He said, oh, the A, you're talking about Atlanta. Yeah, bro, no. Hell no. I can't even say the story because people might think it's true. Actually, I'm going to say this story in case somebody ever tries to come for my life. And in case you guys haven't noticed, the webinar is officially over. Thank you all for your time. Now I'm just going to be shooting the shit and answering questions, right? So I was in Atlanta. We were doing a world tour for the FX Summit conference. If you guys don't know, we host the #1 conference in the world for traders. This is not just a hyperbole. It really is the #1 conference in the world for traders everywhere. We focus on investing, entrepreneurship, crypto, and Forex. Next year is going to be in the beautiful, beautiful city of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. Last year was in Miami, and then the first year was in Miami. You guys can go over to FX Summit 2024 and check out the recap video from 2022, the recap video from 2023, and then you guys can look at the promo stuff for 2024, what we got going on. Long story short, we're doing a countrywide tour to promote the FX Summit. We hit all the major cities. We hit Washington, D.C. We hit Atlanta, Georgia. We hit New York City. We hit Texas, Dallas, Texas. We hit Scottsdale, Arizona. Obviously, we finished off in Miami, Florida. It was a crazy country tour. Some of the videos are up on the website. So long story short, it's raining outside in Atlanta. We got 100 people that's still outside the door, and we're already at full capacity. This thing was a free class. I had brought James Storms and Drew, and I brought Jessica Lane. I had Tori Trades out there. I had my friend Jason, QB Stu. Like, everybody was out there. Amon. We had a full house. We had Andy Peters show up and speak. So I had all my boys and the whole gang coming to speak to folks for free. And obviously there was a line, 100 people deep outside. It's raining and it's cold as shit. So I feel bad. There's this sort of like reception area outside of the conference hall where we're doing it at, and nobody was using it. And so I felt bad. Some of these folks had driven hours. Some of these folks drove 3-4 hours in the rain to come to this thing, and I couldn't just watch them sit in the rain. And so I told them all to come inside the reception area and at least sit inside, but they couldn't watch the presentations because there was no more room. The owner of this place lost her mind. Yo, she lost her mind, said I was disrespecting her. There was all types of, she was throwing misogynist around. She was saying, she had looked me dead in the eyes. She said, you think this is a game? I said, ma'am, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect you or your place of business, but I can't in good conscience let these 100 people stand outside in the cold and the rain when they came here for some value. I can't in good conscience do that. I had to invite them in. And she's talking about calling the cops and calling the fire marshals. So she did. So now cops are on the way. Fire marshals are on the way. Video team panned over at me. I'm sweating. We have a contract signed with her, and we have now violated the terms of the contract, kinda. And I had a bead of sweat coming down. I'm losing it. She realizes the camera is on. And so I pull out the contract. And I said, ma'am, with all due respect, like, we're all within the legal rights of this agreement that you and I have in this place of business, that you're entitled to the decisions that you're making. I swear to God, she looks dead at the camera and she's like, well, you know what? Game over. I'm going to tell everybody you hate black women owned businesses, and just walks away. And my whole life flashed in front of my eyes. Now, I don't know if you guys know, I love women and I love black people and I love black women. And now I'm being accused on camera of this heinous accusations. And I'm sitting there like, but all I did, I pulled out the contract, and all I did was read back the contract. Cops showed up, fire marshal showed up. The cops heard both sides of the story. The cops saw the recordings, and they found it very distasteful on her part. She was assaulting a few of our guests, grabbing girls, throwing them out. She was tossing people out. So all of a sudden, cops showed up. They're like, "What's the deal? Who's in trouble?" I told them it wasn't me. It wasn't me in trouble. The woman's nephew, he was in charge of the audio visual situation. He came and stood up for us. He was like, "Look, man, my auntie's kind of wilding right now. These guys didn't do anything wrong. They were very respectful." I was respectful up until the point where I just told her to call the cops. She's like, "I'm gonna call the cops." I was like, "Do it." I said, "Fucking do it." I'm reading the contract in my hand, making sure I'm not violating any clause in the contract. I'm like, "Yep, yeah, nope, do it." And then I get accused of this most heinous accusation. I'm sitting here. I was like, bro, I didn't think I could get canceled, but this is about as close as I'm ever going to get. I realized all my YouTube subscribers headed down to zero. People are going to think that I got issues. Oh, no. So naturally, I went out there and did the only thing I could. I went out there on a date with the most beautiful black woman I could find just to redeem myself. I said, guys, I promise. So that shit sounds like growing up. I grew up in ATL and was accused of many things, and people are full of hate and others with so much love. Yeah, I mean, look, all jokes aside, that place is soft as fuck. I will never step foot in Atlanta. That whole goddamn city needs to be fucking sanctioned off, and fucking Haiti can have them. Fucking give them to Puerto Rico, because I don't fucking want them. I was out there. I would say like an hour away from Atlanta before all this happened. I was going to visit some friends. I went to Macon, Georgia. I went to a few other cities about an hour out. Okay, that's what you think about when you think about Georgia. When you think about Georgia. Not whatever the fuck I saw in Atlanta, bro. Hell no. Joseph said, can you help me enter a trade on Forex? No. Reese said, chill, bro. Bro, where do these people get the nerve to come out here and tell me what to do? That's madness. What makes you think I'm going to listen to you, Reese? What about anything that you have heard and my attitude towards trading and my attitude towards people from the start to the very end of this stream makes you think that I'm going to listen to what anybody says? He says, no, Puerto Rico don't want him. Yeah. He said, from the Haitian community, we're good. He said, as a representative from the Haitian community, we're good. He said, Puerto Rico don't want him. Brother, now we got a predicament. He said, be nice to auntie. I swear on everything I love, I was nothing but respectful to her. Brother, I would never disrespect a grown woman like that. I have utmost respect for my elders. I have utmost respect for women. That's not how I was raised. But she was wilding. She was throwing accusations at me, bro. Just serious. He said, LOL, man, chill. All right. Well, Reese, how about this? I'll do you one more favor. I'll just literally save you the headache. Oh, I can't even scroll here. I'll just save you the headache because this seems to be bothering you so much. Oh, get the fuck. The system don't want me to kick you. Max, can you just do this for me, bro? I'm having a hard time finding the ellipses here. Now, don't delete the message. Just put them in timeout. Okay, cool. All right, everybody. I'll catch you tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to seeing every person that was on this webinar be on the NAS100 Masterclass tomorrow. Reminder, use promo code NASWebinar30. Again, it's NASWebinar30 for 30% off your seat. You guys can head over to the link that's in the description or just go to our website at chartaddictsfx.com and click on the live classes tab here at the top. And of course, I know what you guys are thinking. Roy, where do I get this amazing merchandise? You guys can find all of our merch, the hats, the shirts, everything on our website under the merch tab. I know the prices look crazy, but you get 50% off FX Summit tickets. It's a little secret that we have with CA members. If you buy any of the shirts, you get half off FX Summit tickets. That's just a secret between all of us. All right. Vanessa said it was litty. It was lit, except you guys were bullying me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Hilly Martin says, bye, Reese. I like that. All right, everybody. Happy and safe